But was it tough for you to stop doing something that you enjoyed so much?
I mean, yes.
And you
Like,
got hurt, right? Playing
yeah,
baseball?
I mean, some of it was injuries, but like I said, some of it was I ended up just having some problems in high school and didn't stick it out. But yeah, I grow up being, one of the best players in town, all stars every time, thinking I was one of the best ones, and then get to high school and start struggling a little bit, not just in baseball, but in general,
Yeah.
and then get hurt a little bit, and it just piles on. So I think it contributed a lot to me, you know, that I ended up dropping out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it a lot.
Did you, because I know you were a good student for sure. So what do you think it was more of the sport? If you had to guess, right? I'm not asking if you know. Do you think the sports played a big role in your lack of interest in the educational part?
Looking back, actually, I chose academics at one point over sports because in our high school, we had 6 periods,
Mhm.
and 6 periods with that was athletics. And I chose like going to the gifted program. So we took, I wanted to take all the difficult classes,
Mhm.
physics and chemistry and calculus and a couple of years of Spanish and computers, and make sure that I jam myself full of all those classes so I could go to a good university, good
So you
college.
cared about college, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. I needed to get out. Grew up pretty poor.
Regardless of sports, you wanted to go to a good college.
Yeah. So looking back, I wish I wouldn't have given up 6 period athletics. I wish I would have played baseball.
I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying 6 periods of athletics, and so
No,
there's 6 periods,
just
and
one period of athletics.
the last
Yeah.
day, the last class or something, was that
Right.
like an athletic class?
Yeah.
So, but that says a lot, though. That speaks volumes. It sounds like you actually enjoyed learning stuff. But I'm sure that
Mhm.
played a role later on because you did get your GED and go to college, right?
Mhm.
So I'm sure that played a role in. And were you a good college student?
Not at the beginning.
No.
Terrible. No. The same habits that in high school of, not going to school for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was laziness, being depressed, whatever reasons it was, they carried over into college. So always smart enough, could cruise through
Mm-hmm.
high school and college, but you have to show up.
Yeah, it's a huge part.
It helps, right? So I kept failing first couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You failed classes, or you failed like
Um,
because you
yeah.
weren't. I'm assuming you weren't on a scholarship, or were you?
No.
So this is coming out of your own pocket.
Yeah. So yeah, dropping out of high school cost me many, many thousands of dollars in scholarships. But like you said, I got my GED, got financial aid. Tried to start going to community college. Would just start the classes, doing great, doing great, doing great, and then would just quit going, fail all of them.
It's kind of, there's. I'm always trying to correlate stuff.
Mhm.
So I noticed some things, right? So we both dropped out of high school for different reasons, but kind of similar things, right? Like life happens, other things are more important. Sports plays a role, mental health plays a role. I don't know why. I don't know why this happens, but there's something about the struggle. There's like almost like I'm trying to think of the right word for it. People that go through struggle, they just end up being different adults. And I don't mean that in a bad way to anyone who hasn't maybe struggled as more than someone else does. I totally mean it out of respect. But I know some people that did really well in high school that are not doing very well now. And I don't consider myself doing well in the sense like I'm the best I'm ever going to be, but I consider myself doing well compared to who I was then. But I also think that some of the traits that I have that I get complimented on are because I dropped out, struggled, went through life, lost jobs, messed up relationships. And so it's kind of weird. I think there's some correlation between struggle, whatever that means. And
Mhm.
somehow people that struggle more tend to be more successful. And I have a small theory on it. I don't know why. I'd love to hear what you think. I think doing difficult things or struggling a lot, even if it isn't the thing, right? The thing that you end up being great at, right? But just life, just in general, anything, whether it's struggling
Mhm.
with weight, whether it's struggling with substance use, whether it's struggling with keeping a job or maintaining a relationship, whatever it is, the more times you struggle, you kind of get comfortable and struggle, right? So you panic less. I tend to panic less when things aren't going well. And I kind of like, all right, let's break this down. What can we do on it? And some people never get that because things go so well their whole
Mhm.
lives. So when struggle happens, if they lose a scholarship or if their relationship's going down there, whatever it is, they don't know and they self-sabotage. Things like kind of like crumble fast and hard. And so in a weird way, I would never glorify some of the things in my life that I'm not so
Mhm.
proud of or didn't do well at, but I can definitely appreciate where it ended up with, because I don't think then I would be where I'm at. I definitely wouldn't have the job I have. I definitely wouldn't be the person I am had I not gone through some of those things. And I'm one of the least judgmental people I know. And
That's a big part of it. I
Yeah.
think that's a big part of it. Those are the two things I would say.
Yeah.
One is when you said that we feel like we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, we get the information and it sounds bad, but we know that there's probably a way to fix this, probably a way to get through this. There's some other options.
Yeah.
That it doesn't crush us. It doesn't shut us down.
Plus, we've been through enough that you're like, well, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
it's either the same or less bad, right?
Mhm.
There's very rare things in life that are overwhelming to the point where it feels like there's no option. Do you think there's some truth in the fact that people that tend to fall hard, whatever that means, is probably because they took the easy route. They go the same route to work. And this is all metaphorically, right? I'm not saying they literally go the same route. They go to the same places with the same people. They make similar decisions. They live their certain ways. And so when their feathers get ruffled, it's a huge event. And it tends, sometimes you can just run away from that, right? And go back to your route. But sometimes you can't. And those are the ones where people tend to fall hard. Hey guys, if you're enjoying watching these clips, then head over to the description so you can go watch the entire podcast episode, or go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, search Talk It Up, look for the gold logo, and start watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.